Let me tell you a story, not of a woman, but of a force. A whisper in the psyche of men, as ancient as the first campfire, as intoxicating as the scent of danger wrapped in silk. She is the Siren, not necessarily a person, but a symbol, a psychic archetype that has existed for millennia. Her face changes through history. One day, she's Helen of Troy. The next, she's a pop star on your screen. And tomorrow, she may be a quiet girl who looked at you just long enough to make you question your entire purpose. But she isn't powerful because of who she is. She's powerful because of what you project onto her. You don't fall for her. You fall into yourself, into your dreams, your fantasies, your unconscious desire for completion. You long to be devoured, and the Siren simply gives you permission. In Homer's Odyssey, the Sirens lured sailors to their deaths, not with promises of sex, but with songs of knowledge. They claimed to know all that happened in the world. What destroyed those men was not lust alone, but the temptation to understand through surrender. And that is what modern men don't see. The Siren archetype isn't just about sex, it's about salvation. She makes you feel like everything in your life, your failures, your stress, your aching loneliness, can be soothed if only she stays, if only she chooses you. This is where the danger begins, not in her gaze, but in your need for it. Carl Jung explained that within every man is the anima, the feminine ideal, and if a man fails to integrate it within himself, he will project it onto a woman in the external world. That projection becomes dangerous because it's not her you fall in love with, it's your own missing parts. She doesn't complete you, she reflects your incompleteness, and you mistake the reflection for reality. Suddenly, she becomes sacred, magnetic, irreplaceable. Not because of who she is, but because of what you refuse to confront inside yourself. You fall not for the woman, but for the image of wholeness she appears to offer. This is why the Siren rarely needs to chase. Her power lies in provoking pursuit. She doesn't grab you, she invites you. With a laugh that dances just out of reach. With an eye contact that feels like electricity dipped in honey. With subtle contradictions. Warm but aloof, sexual but innocent, interested but never available. She becomes a mirror in motion, reflecting your deepest ache for validation, while never giving you enough to fully feel safe. And the more you chase her, the more you lose your footing. You begin to crave her approval like a drug, mistaking attention for affection, mistaking affection for love, and mistaking love for destiny. The modern man, overstimulated by porn, hollowed by failed relationships, and cut off from initiation into purpose, is starving. Starving for beauty, softness, mystery, and the feeling of being needed. The Siren thrives in that famine. She doesn't have to be malicious to be destructive. All she has to do is exist in proximity to a man who has no mission stronger than his hunger for affection. And the truth is this: many men walk around as unarmed kings, wearing crowns made of delusion, looking for someone to kneel before. The Siren doesn't kneel, she sings, and you follow, willingly. And that's the catch. The trap isn't set by her, it's set by you. She just knows how to pull the string. You see her as salvation because you refuse to save yourself. You worship her femininity because you've denied your own masculinity. You need her to choose you because you haven't yet chosen your path. The Siren is the echo of everything you abandoned in yourself. And until you face that, you will keep chasing that echo until it leads you off the edge of your own destiny. Her power is subtle, even sacred, but it is not love, it is not devotion, it is not partnership, it is projection. And the sooner you realize that, the sooner you can reclaim your soul from the dream she awoke in you. Because until you master the hunger she exposed, you will always mistake her for the answer. And when that happens, you are no longer a man. You are a moth circling a flame that does not care if you burn. Once you've heard her song, once her voice slithered past your logic and settled into your nervous system, something shifts. You don't even realize it at first. You think you're in control, that you're leading the relationship. But the surrender has already begun. Slowly, like vines around a throne, her presence coils around your ambitions, your routines, your masculine edge. You don't feel it immediately because the surrender is sweet. That's the brilliance of it. It feels like peace, like finally finding what you've been searching for. But what you're really doing is handing over your crown in exchange for comfort disguised as connection. You begin to orbit her. Your life, once governed by a solar purpose, is now eclipsed by her gravity. Your decisions start bending around her emotions. Your drive weakens. Your workouts get skipped. Your focus blurs. You trade danger for dopamine. She becomes your morning ritual and your midnight obsession. You don't realize that the same mystery that once pulled you in is now managing you. You crave her attention like a drug, willing to trade your edge, your solitude, your instincts, just to feel that warmth again. But it's never the same as it was. Like the first high, you're always chasing what can't be relived. Biochemically, you are no longer the same man. When you bond with her, especially through sex, your body floods with oxytocin. Your testosterone drops. Your dopamine spikes, then crashes. If you're not careful, your hormonal state becomes feminized. You become emotionally volatile, needy, erratic, not because she changed, but because you did. You thought sex was intimacy. You thought closeness meant permanence. But to the Siren, intimacy is strategy. Closeness is leverage. It's not that she doesn't feel. It's that her survival has been shaped by power dynamics, not purity. Robert Greene warned of this in The Art of Seduction. The most dangerous lovers are not the loud ones. They are the still waters. The ones who pull you in with silence, with suggestion, with illusion. The Siren's power lies in her ability to make you want to serve. You edit yourself in her presence. You become agreeable. You abandon your shadows and give her only the best parts of yourself, hoping she will reward you with permanence. But women like this despise predictability. Once she sees that you've surrendered, she begins to chip away at the very man she once admired. The strength that once attracted her becomes a mirror of her own inferiority, so she tests you, coldness, distance, emotional withdrawal, to see if she can break you. And when you respond with begging, pleading, or overcompensation, she knows she owns you. In the alchemy of lust, you'll be taken deep into the ancient and forgotten discipline of sexual transmutation, a principle once reserved for monks, warriors, kings, and creators. She doesn't even need to say it. She can feel it, and so can you. The respect evaporates, the polarity collapses. What began as a dance of mystery has become a power imbalance. And make no mistake, once a woman no longer respects you, her love becomes conditional, strategic, transactional. She stays only as long as the benefits outweigh her boredom. You're no longer the man with a plan. You're the man reacting to her mood swings, chasing her highs, decoding her silence like a hostage praying for a signal. This is the dark truth most men cannot face. You gave her the sword. She didn't steal your power. You offered it to her, gift wrapped in worship. You thought loving her was noble. You thought protecting her meant abandoning your edge. But a woman does not want to be your life. She wants to orbit your fire. When you make her the fire, she loses attraction and gains control. And when control is established, destruction is inevitable. There's no villain here, only roles played unconsciously. You wanted peace, so you surrendered your power. You wanted love, so you abandoned logic. You thought giving her everything would make her stay. But women don't stay because you give. They stay because you command. Not through domination, but through unwavering alignment to your mission. The moment you kneel, the polarity collapses. And the Siren does not weep for fallen kings. She moves on, smiling, singing, for the next man who hasn't yet learned the price of surrender. And now comes the part that stings, the unraveling, the death of the illusion. The Siren, once your muse, your meaning, your moment of salvation, begins to change. Or so you think. But the truth is, She's not changing at all. She's simply revealing what was always there. She seduced the man of mystery, the man of fire, the man who moved with purpose. But now she sees only a shell, a version of you she quietly dismantled, and you willingly assisted. The very intensity that once drew her in has been smothered by devotion. The chase is over. The mystery is dead. She looks at you now, not with awe, but with assessment. Not, who is he, but what can he do for me? This is when the destruction begins. It starts subtly. Her tone shifts. Her eyes no longer sparkle when you walk into the room. She withdraws affection. Not all at once, just enough to make you wonder. She becomes busy, distant, unavailable. The intimacy that once made you feel divine now becomes rationed like currency. You try harder. You send flowers. You write long texts. You plan dates. You speak her love language. You buy books on relationships. But nothing lands. Nothing works. Because what you're trying to fix isn't the relationship. It's yourself. You feel it in your gut. She's already gone. Emotionally, spiritually, sometimes even physically. And yet, she stays, for a while. Why? Because the siren doesn't just vanish. She leaves after she's hollowed you out, after she's extracted your certainty, your masculinity, your edge. She needs to know you're broken before she walks away. Not because she's evil, but because her validation depends on your downfall. You were never supposed to thrive without her. This is what most men fail to see. She never wanted to destroy you. She just needed to prove she could. That's the fuel, the high. The collapse is her unconscious ritual of reclaiming power. In her mind, if a man loves her more than he loves his own path, he deserves to fall. That might sound cruel, but to a woman governed by shadow impulses, by wounds, abandonment issues, unintegrated trauma, your surrender is offensive. She didn't ask for a worshipper. She was drawn to a warrior. And when you became the former, she couldn't help but resent the man who allowed himself to be conquered by emotion. The siren archetype is not sustainable. She is designed for seduction, not stability. Her chaos keeps her feeling alive. Once things become calm, once the connection becomes routine, once the passion fades into responsibility, she self-destructs. Sometimes she cheats. Sometimes she ghosts. Sometimes she becomes cruel, combative, or cold. Not because she hates you, but because she can no longer feel herself in the container of your comfort. Her soul begins to rot in the presence of a man who gave her everything except resistance. She wanted your desire, not your devotion. She wanted your fire, not your forecast. She wanted to feel chased, not chosen. And you're left confused, angry, hollow. You replay everything. You obsess. You go back to the beginning, wondering what you did wrong, how something so magical could rot into silence. You blame her, then blame yourself. You spiral. Maybe you chase her, beg her, try to resurrect what once was. Or maybe you spiral into detachment, vowing never to love again, turning cold, bitter, cynical. But the truth is, this collapse was necessary, because until you've been destroyed by your fantasy, you cannot be rebuilt in truth. Until you felt the pain of misdirected love, you will always seek completion in women who were only meant to awaken, not to save. There's a reason men write poetry after heartbreak. There's a reason warriors retreat into solitude after betrayal. It's not just grief, it's rebirth. If you face it, if you don't numb it. The collapse is your initiation into self-ownership, into erotic mastery, into kinghood. You see, the siren isn't evil. She is divine chaos, a mirror, a fire. Her gift is in the destruction, because she shows you where you are weak, where you are still a boy dressing like a man, where your confidence was counterfeit, where your purpose was a performance. She arrives to show you your greatest illusion, that someone else could complete you. The pain she leaves behind is sacred. If you alchemize it, if you study it, if you grow from it. Because every man must at some point face the siren and choose, will I chase the illusion again? Or will I finally become whole? Will I rebuild my throne, not for her, but for me? Let her song be the last you ever fall for. Not because you hate her, but because you finally understand her. She was the storm sent to awaken the fire in your spine. The collapse wasn't the end. It was the forging of a man who will never kneel again. Thus remember, we are Indeceptor. Becoming Indeceptor is the code they never wanted you to learn. A psychological war map for men, forbidden teachings fused with modern strategy for influence, dominance, and self-mastery. If you want peace, prepare for war. The Indeceptor archive is the complete vault. Every lesson, every revelation, every psychological blueprint I've ever recorded, handcrafted to help you break chains, build discipline, and become undefeatable in a world built to deceive men. No ads, no algorithms, no distractions.